Hi, it's Kithman, and I'm back with some more STO, or Star Trek Online, hints and tips from a newbie. Now, the first thing you're probably wondering is, hang on, he said newbie, but he's talking about level 65 in the title and thumbnail. Well, the reason for that is, if you look at all the episodes, there's a whole load of them. And probably somewhere, I don't know, around here maybe, you're going to reach the point where actually you're level 75 and you still haven't even got on to all of these missions. So it is something you reach relatively quickly, and there is still a whole bunch of things to do. If you click on Commander and you see the rewards, and it's the same whether you're a Starfleet or a Romulan or a Klingon character. But as you see down here, you've got the reputation system, specializations, level 52, the Admiralty system, and not even listed here is the Endeavour system. All of those are things that basically let you continue to build your character and gain new things once you've hit level 65. So that's what I'm going to be covering today. Now obviously can't really cover them on Kithan because he's still, well, he's level 22 as you saw, or you may or may not have seen on the stream this week. So I'm just going to pause things briefly, and we're back. And now this is my other character I've been playing. As you see, he's level 65, so it's going to be ideal for going over some of these things. Now, if we just look at that list again, first thing listed is the reputation system. If you open up your character sheet, you have this tab, reputation. It wouldn't have done anything until you hit level 50. But you will see, once you have hit level 50, there's all these things in there. Now, within each reputation, there's a number of tiers, and you get abilities, so captain's traits here. You have more things available in the store, and you got projects to make stuff. And as you go up through the tiers in it, you get more stuff. Fairly simple, really. Important tiers, tier 5. In any reputation means any other characters on that account then basically need less reputation to reach each tier. And obviously tier 6 is the capstone, and you get all sorts of funky things. Generally a lot of the traits, you get basically a better version of them available, and so on. So I'm getting a bonus from set weapons in this, and of course more stuff available. Plus claiming a fleet module, which is important for fleets. If you are in a fleet and you want to get a fleet upgraded ship, you need fleet modules to do that, and a skills retrain token, which is what it says on the tin, lets you retrain your skills. Now, the question is how do you increase these ranks? Now, each of them, as you see, is doing a project. Doing a project, if I were to want to actually start this, it's got requirements. Energy credits, say what this are, you know what those are. Expertise, that's something you get with experience as well. Most people have an awful lot of expertise. It's also what you use to train and promote things like bridge officers. And discovery marks. Now those you may not have come across. If you go into your assets, you'll see you've got your energy credits, and below that you've got your reputation marks. There's a number of sources of these. Probably the most common source is doing a task force operation. There's a whole load of those. They award marks with different groups. So for example, bug hunt here, you can get a choice of fleet marks or delta marks or Iconium marks. One important thing, if there's an event on, you've got a choice of marks and that literally lets you choose any of them. The other reason why that's important is, well, there's a couple of reasons actually. First one is because it's an event, you're likely to be able to join it very quickly, which is obviously useful. It's no good if you've got to wait sort of 15 minutes before you actually get to start the operation, because all of these are at least 5 people. So if you're playing as a group of 5, obviously you can get in straight away, but if you're playing on your own, you basically got to wait till there's another 4 people that have signed up for that particular one. And the other reason why it's important is there's no cooldown, so you can literally just spam it. Reason why you'd want to spam it? Well, at the end of it, you get, as it says there, a choice of marks. So you can choose any one of these marks listed here, or fleet marks, and you get those as part of the reward for completing the TFO. Now, the other thing to bear in mind is every single day, and I think it resets basically on a sort of 24-hour or so clock, maybe a 20-hour clock, I don't know exactly, but the first time you do a TFO and you get marks for a given reputation, or for the fleet, you get a bonus. So what I've actually been doing, and the reason why I've got so many marks here, is I've been doing the Kobayashi Maru event once a day for each of the reputations, which basically means that all of these I've been able to advance. Now there's 2 projects that can increase your reputation, your tier with each reputation, and there's this one which I'm running, which is, as it says up here, daily. I've got a couple of hours to go before it finishes, and that rewards 340 dilithium ore, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's over 4,000 dilithium ore. And bear in mind, you can only refine 8,000 a day. That's a big part of the 8,000 just from doing that, and it's just clicking a few times if you've got the marks to actually set that going. And it basically takes 30 marks to do this daily one, and when you complete it you get, as it shows there, 2,500 reputation. And if you look over here, tier 1, well, it doesn't say, but yeah, tier 1 is I think 5,000, that's 15,000 for tier 2, and tier 3 is 32,500. So that 2,500, you can see you can fairly quickly get the first few levels of your first few tiers of any given reputation. Of course, at that 2,500 a day, it takes some time to let tier 5 and, well, tier 6, it's 100 days. It's fairly simple maths, that one. You can sort of speed it up a bit, because there's this hourly one. You can do it 3 times a day basically. However, it only awards 200 reputation, but it still takes 15 marks. So think about it. You can spend 30 marks and get 2,500, or you can run this one twice, spend the same 30 marks and get 400. So that's why even though I've got the marks to spare, I'm just not bothering. It's just not worth the hassle of all that extra clicks, I think, anyway, to get that. But I can also now, because I'm at a higher tier, I've got projects like this: Hostile Environment Shield, Phaser Wide Angle Dual Heavy Beam Bank, dark matter quantum torpedo launcher, and so on. And you'll see these are the things that get mentioned in the equipment projects here at each tier. And that's how you actually make them. One thing I will say is one of the ingredients is something special. So in this case it's P. Stellaraviatori spore canisters. You see here I've got 2 of those at the moment. It takes 5 to get 1 piece of kit. Couple of ways you can get those. You can either turn in 100 marks to get 1 plus a whole 5 reputation, or if you do a TFO at Advanced or Elite, you can get them. And the final way is whenever you start one of these, you'll get a equipment box, and when you get it, you'll get one of the things that's available in the store, or a small chance one of the relevant reputations elite things. So for example, Borg neural processors for Task Force Omega. New Romulus is the odd one out. It doesn't actually have an elite mark, but ancient power cells for Delta Alliance, Terran gravimetric inducer for Terran Task Force, and so on. So you can get them that way as well, but probably the most reliable way is doing TFOs at Advanced. So that's reputation for you. Oh, and the gear there, some of it is definitely worth getting. If you were to look on the forums for the sort of best builds and all that, maybe not the very, very highest tier for the absolute top of the sort of the DPS charts and what have you, but an awful lot of the ones just a smidgen below are going to be having some gear from the reputation store. Anyway, that is the reputation system. Next up is specializations. So back to the character sheet, this time onto skills. You've seen this before. This is basically the skill tree. You've only got, though, so many points you can spend here. So you can't have a situation where you absolutely fill it out. As you see here, I spent 27 on tactical, 3 on science, so that's basically 46 points I spent there. When you unlock specializations, though, you have this extra tab here, and you can select any of these specializations. So for example, Miracle Worker. Now you can have 1 active primary, 1 active secondary. Secondary only up to tier 2 abilities are relevant, but basically every time you level above 50, and once you hit 65, every time you fill in the experience bar again, you get a specialization point. I've actually got one at the moment which I still need to spend. So I shall continue to build up this. There we go. Just like spending normal skills, but basically, well, as you see, I've got not even got anything at all in there, nothing in there, nothing in there. And those three, you notice they only go to tier 2, so you'd only ever want them as secondary, you'd never want them as primary. And you know, I've not got anything in any of these yet, so there's a fair way to go still in terms of just getting experience to increase those levels. And specializations, what they give you is, well, just all sorts of stuff. So for example, Miracle Worker, which is what I've got as a primary, I've got most of it unlocked. And these are ground skills, so I haven't bothered yet getting those, 'cause primarily in Star Trek, you're in space. Yep, you do have some ground stuff, but There you go. I've not really concentrated on that, but yeah, as you see, I put 18 points into Miracle Worker at the moment, and it gives a bonus. Yeah, so all the primary ones give you a bonus. So this one is giving me 32% of max hull regenerated per minute, and on ground 32% of hit points regenerated per minute. Not to be sneezed at, really. There are other ones, so for example, Intelligence Officer I've got a bit in. I'm not using it at the moment. So this gives a bonus to defense rating and dodge chance on the ground. Temporal Operative gives you a bonus to exotic particle generation and kit performance, and so on. There's basically a whole load of specializations there. You'll also get the ability, let's see where it is. Well, you can see, as you see here, you get kit modules in the relevant specialization. You can start using them, and when you've spent 10 points in a specialization, you've got the ability to give a train a bridge officer in a specialization. I've actually picked up a bridge officer that's got the intelligence specialization already, and he's got some abilities from sort of the intelligence officer team. But yeah, there's a lot there to those. There's no doubt a million and one things that I haven't mentioned that, well, I just plain don't know yet about the specialization system as to what is the most powerful and all that. But the point of this isn't to tell you this is the best ever. It's to let you know that there's stuff there and what it is, so you don't miss it. Anyway, next up on the list is the final thing that actually shows under this, which is at level 52. You get the Admiralty system, and you get to that same way you do with duty officers. Just next tab along is Admiralty. Now, what this is, there's 4 factions: United Federation of Planets, Klingon Empire, Romulan Republic, and Ferengi Alliance. Now, it doesn't matter. You've got these same 4, whether you're a Starfleet character, Klingon character, Romulan character, whatever. This bit here is the same. Now, each one of these has a number of assignments available, and you've got 3 to choose from, and then it also shows you what is coming up the next 2 for each one. Now, the way that all of these work is they've got requirements, they've got a result, and they've got an event of some sort, and a duration, but the duration is fairly irrelevant. So if I click on plan, I'll explain it a bit more. You've got a requirement for each one, so this requires a total of 20 engineering, 25 tactical, and 20 science, total of 65, and the event is an allied patrol, so it's reduced the requirement for tactical, because it's only 25 here, whereas if I go back here, it's showing 45. So this is the final thing. And then you've got 3 slots, and basically every ship you've had, plus any ship you've got the what's referred to as the Admiralty card for. And if you note, at level 65 you get Admiralty Hero Ship card, CUV Tane. Basically they're all in this list. Now, some of these have got a 1 times against them, and that's because a previous Admiralty mission I've done has given me a 1-time use card. So basically it makes that ship available for one time. So we'll ignore those and just look at the rest of them. Now this is 20, 25, 20. So I can send my Mogi Heavy Warbird. I assign that. And straight away you see it's got 10, it's got 21, it's got 14, so it's filled those in. Success chance is up to 69. Now, I'm not certain, but I think unless success chance is 100, which is basically only achieved when all these numbers are at least at the required level, the mission can't succeed. So the thing that does actually matter is what is the total. So I need another 10 engineering. I need another 4 tactical and another 6 science. So if I send the Dellen Warbird as well, that's almost gotten us there. And note as well, I've now got a critical chance, and the various ships have abilities as well, so they increase. Yeah, sort of this means that I'm getting more benefit to critical from tactical and so on. And finally I need basically just a couple more. Now see, it's all ships including the little ones. So on that basis I'll send one of the little ones because I only just need a little bit more engineering. And this has a nice boost to critical chance. So now I've got 100% chance of succeeding, 48% chance of critical success. And it will take 1 hour 30 minutes. Now the other thing to mention is here, got a little spanner symbol and a time. So 4 hours, 2 hours, 5 minutes. Now, if I send those guys off, it started, and basically the last one down here has now moved up to here, and a new one has appeared down the bottom. But what that spanner means is when you finish a mission, you go on, you're in maintenance. So it's a bit different from the duty officers. Duty officers, as soon as they finish a mission, they're available for another one straight away. With the Admiralty, ships basically have a cooldown, so you can't just keep spamming them. And that's what these guys are. They're just they've been on missions overnight, and their maintenance is just moving on. Now one thing you may have noticed, this shuttle up here, it's actually quite a useful one if you've got the space to slot it in with one of your larger ships. Because if you look at these guys, 18 hours maintenance, same with the Temple Battle Cruiser. I slot that in, reduces the maintenance by a quarter, so he's worth sending along if you've got the space, which basically means can you meet the requirements with just 2 ships. But you know, if you can, it can make the difference. Obviously if you're going to be away for sort of a whole day before you get the chance to do anything, you might as well just slot in the big one, because it's that maintenance is going to be up before you're able to play again anyway. There's also a tour of duty thing, and each one of these has their own tour of duty, and it's a 10-part chain. When you complete it, you get something special. So you see, Federation one, you get 2 specialization points. With the Federation, with the Klingon Empire, you get 40,000 fleet dilithium vouchers. What that means is you can donate 40,000 dilithium to fleet projects, or use 40,000 dilithium for fleet things without it coming out of your dilithium. For the Romulans, you get 4 Romulan Republic Universal Tech upgrades, which I'm assuming are reasonably good, but I've not really got into the whole upgrade side of things yet. And for the Ferengi, 30,000 dilithium or bonus pool, which might sound good, but for me, well, I've got a fair chunk of dilithium at the moment. You can only refine 8,000 a day, and I've got 191,000 ore at the moment, so yeah, I think that's going to take me a while to get through. So that's probably of limited use, but one of the reasons why I've got so much ore is I'm playing very heavily at the moment on this character, so he's doing lots of things that gets him ore, and obviously that lets him build up that stockpile. But that's the Admiralty system. And finally, we've got Endeavours that appear here. Now, these, you can't really see at the moment, but there's, there we go. These are, basically think of them as tasks. You've got personal endeavours and universal endeavours. Universal endeavours renew every few days. I think it's something like 2 or 3. Personal endeavours renew every day. And they're a task to do something. And these are some good examples. Destroy Hook frigates. And that was, you see the green here, the uncommon personal endeavour, so it's the easiest of them. You can get, I could have got that, say, as a very rare personal endeavour, and basically would have required me to destroy more of the same thing, or do more of that thing. So destroy destructible torpedoes and deal anti-proton damage in space. Good example, I know this required me to destroy 6 torpedoes. I've had it previously at the very rare level, and that required me to destroy 8, so it just gives you an example. Now what you get for completing one of these is you get a personal endeavour pack, and as you see, you've got random things that can be in there. Dilithium, energy credits, mark choice box, R&D materials, or specialisation point XP. Now the specialisation point, as it says there, can't be, can't roll as high as rarer quantities, but is always just a quarter of a specialisation point. I've just got those saved up in my account bank for use on another character. Energy credits, I think it can go up to about 500,000. It's somewhere between 50,000 and 500,000. Mark choice, I've certainly had 50 mark choice box and 100 mark choice box, and that's what it says on the tin. It's basically a box that when you open it, you pick a mark and you get however many marks of that type. R&D materials are what it sounds like. It's the stuff you pick up from shinies. You also get a box of those for completing a TFO, Task Force Operation, and as a result, if you're doing a bunch of those, you don't find a shortage of the lower tier research materials. Certainly I don't anyway. Or dilithium, or so that's those. And you get Endeavour XP. At higher levels, it's basically the same things, but you just get more. So rare, you're getting 2 choices, or 2 random picks rather, from the list, and the very rare you get 5, and the universal one is also 5, and you're getting more XP. Now what the XP is for is you get perk points, and every 20,000 perk points you get to increase your Endeavour rank, and you get a perk. As you see here, they're account wide, so basically it's quite useful. There's a whole bunch of them, and the way it works, when you spend it, it'll basically choose 3 at random, and you then get to pick which one of those 3 do you want to increase. So these are what I've spent it on at the moment. So max shields in space, kit performance on the ground, damage resistance beta in space, which is, if you hover over that, disruptor, polaron, physical, radiation and fire. critical chance in space, turn rate in space, and energy weapon damage in space. That one, these two I've had a couple of times, and well, this one especially is really nice. If you think about it, it's 4% damage, and that's most of your weapons that you're shooting are energy weapons, unless you've gone for like torpedo build or a some sort of science build with lots of exotic weird stuff that, well, I've not played with. But anyway, that is the Endeavour system, and well, this has been a bit longer video, so I think it's probably time for me to call it a quits.